Welcome to Oweleketv. We bring you highlights of top stories that made the rounds this week. I am Confidence Oko.
And I am Hadiza Galadima. Thanks for joining us.
Representatives from the Nigeria Labour Congress, civil society groups, and concerned citizens marched towards the Federal Secretariat and National Assembly on Wednesday to protest against the recent increase in food prices and the Tinubu administration's failure to reverse what they perceive as unfriendly policies targeted against the poor. Carrying placards with inscriptions such as hashtag bring back our refineries, hashtag let the poor breathe, and hashtag luta continua, the Unionists blocked the roads leading to the Federal High Court, Transcorp Hotel, and Federal Secretariat Phase 1, amongst others. Security personnel, including the Department of State Services and the Nigerian Police Force, were stationed at various points to prevent any potential disruption by non-state actors. The labor group representing major unions in the country has vowed to continue their peaceful protests until the government addresses their concerns seriously. During the protest, angry demonstrators pulled down the gate of the National Assembly complex in Abuja after security officials refused to open it up for them. The protesters demanded an opportunity to express their grievances. It's worth noting that organized labor had initially called off their strike action following a meeting with President Tinubu. However, they have now announced that they will resume their strike action from the 14th of August, citing a collapsed rapprochement with the federal government.
The Lagos State chapter of the Labour Party LP expressed condolences to the family and colleagues of late Dr. Viari Diaso, who tragically lost her life in a faulty elevator incident at the Lagos State Hospital. Dr. Diaso, a female medical house officer, passed away on Tuesday after being trapped for over 40 minutes in a malfunctioning elevator at the Lagos Island General Hospital, Odon. The young doctor was just a few weeks away from completing her housemanship. In a statement signed by its chairman, Dayo Ekong, the party referred to the Diaso death as both avoidable and heartbreaking. The LP also pointed out the incident sheds light on the state of deteriorated infrastructure and inefficiency within the Babajide Sanwo-Olu-led Lagos State government.
On Tuesday, in the Oba Akran area of Ikeja, Lagos State, there was widespread panic when a light single-engine airplane crashed and immediately caught fire on the road opposite the United Bank for Africa around 3:30 p.m. The aircraft, identified as Jabiru J430 with nationality and registration marks 5NCCQ, was on a test flight operated by Air First Hospitality and Tours. Only two individuals, the pilot and the passenger, were on board at the time of the crash. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau confirmed the incident and stated that they had initiated an investigation into the accident. As news of the crash spread, residents in the area were seen running for safety in fear following the explosion. A video of the incident circulating online captured the aircraft crashing onto the road and immediately bursting into flames. Thankfully, no lives were lost in the crash. The Director General of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency and the Director of Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service confirmed that two individuals were rescued with varying degrees of injury. Eyewitnesses reported that a white Hilux vehicle narrowly escaped being involved in the crash. The aircraft reportedly hit a pole before bursting into flames. Emergency responders, including the National Emergency Management Agency and the State Commissioner of Police, promptly arrived at the scene to assist. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu visited the scene of the accident to assess the situation and commend the residents of the area, especially two young men named Oluwafemi and Opeyemi, who came to the immediate rescue of the two occupants of the aircraft.
Now moving on to other stories. On the 2nd of August 2023, Emmanuel Imuenyawu, the President General of Ohaneze Ndibo, the Igbo Social-Cultural Organization, disclosed that more than 250 people have lost their lives since 2021 due to the enforcement of sit-at-home orders in the Southeast region. Imuenyawu strongly opposed the continuation of these orders, branding them as illegal and emphasizing the immense hardship they have imposed on the Igbo people, leading to the loss of lives and properties. He expressed concern over the actions of non-state actors attempting to enforce the sit-at-home orders, which have resulted in violence, killings, injuries, and destructions of properties worth millions of naira. The fear instilled by these orders have made it challenging for residents to carry out their lawful businesses, affecting the region's vibrant micro, small and medium-scale enterprises as well as indigenous manufacturing, fabrication and agro-allied industries.
The Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja has reserved its judgment on petitions seeking to remove President Bola Tinubu from office. The court, led by Justice Haruna Samani, approved the cases for judgment after all parties presented their final briefs of argument. The two petitions brought by former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, respectively challenge President Tinubu's qualification to contest the presidential poll that took place on the 25th of February 2023. Atiku and the People's Democratic Party urged the court to declare President Tinubu unqualified and nullify the entire outcome of the presidential election, calling for a rerun of fresh contest. They alleged that the Independent National Electoral Commission did not electronically transmit the results contrary to the amended Electoral Act, despite receiving substantial funds for the election. Peter Obi and the Labour Party argued that there was no glitch during the election, but a deliberate act to undermine the poll's outcome. They also called for President Tinubu's removal, pointing out issues with the election results uploaded to INEC's portal. Respondent in the cases including INEC, President Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, and the All Progressives Congress asked the court to dismiss the petitions, asserting that the presidential election was validly conducted and in compliance with the law. INEC defended its use of the bimodal voter accreditation system and said that there was no evidence of an electronic collation system being used in the election. President Tinubu and VP Shettima argued against the petitioner's claims and stated that setting aside the election results would not be in the public interest.
And finally, Burkina Faso and Mali have issued a warning stating that any military intervention in Niger to reinstate deposed President Mohamed Bazoum will be considered a declaration of war against their countries. This warning came in response to West African leaders and their Western allies threatening to use force to reinforce Bazoum to power and imposing financial sanctions on the coup leaders. In a joint statement, the government of Burkina Faso and Mali emphasized that any military intervention in Niger could have disastrous consequences and destabilize the entire region. They also rejected the illegal, illegitimate, and inhumane sanctions imposed on Niger and its authorities. The Russian Federation has also advised against any military intervention, advocating for constitutional means to restore peace in Niger. Russia opposes a military solution and has no plans to use its armed forces in the country. At an emergency summit, ECOWAS demanded that Bazoum be reinstated within a week and threatened to take all measures to restore constitutional order. Financial sanctions were imposed on the junta leaders and the Niger, impacting the nation's already vulnerable economy. Human rights lawyer Feni Falana called on ECOWAS to refrain from attacking Niger as a whole, but rather impose sanctions on the military junta. French President Emmanuel Macron vowed immediate actions in response to any attack on French citizens or interests in Niger. In the midst of the crisis, Italy arranged a special flight to repatriate its nationals from Niamey, Niger's capital. France also prepared to evacuate hundreds of French and European citizens from Niger. Bazoum, a Western ally, was toppled by the Allied Presidential Guard in a military takeover, sparking tension and opposition to external military intervention in the country. The situation in Niger has drawn attention and concern from regional and international actors, given its potential implications for stability in the Sahel region.
And that's it on Oweleketv News. Please do follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to get top stories as they drop. Our website is oweleket.tv. I am Confidence Oko.
And I am Hadiza Galadima. Thanks for watching.